Alright, welcome to Game 3 of our clan war between Team EVO versus Clan cLS. We have a match on Delta Quadrant with cLS Mancito spawning in the bottom right against EVO Mine, the previous victor, spawning in the top left as our Terran player. So we are going to see a TVP matchup on Delta Quadrant.
I'm not cleaning your room. Oh, I'm gonna put the nails on soon.
So we saw Mine take last game with a kind of a scary opening, but transitioned well into the macro game with some Hellion Harass. Gonna block off the wrong opening. Well, maybe not. Maybe he knows what he's doing. I'm sure he does. He is Mind, after all, the evil genius of the EVO clan. So let's see. Let us see what Mancito has in store for us as the Protoss player. And I believe this tournament is going to be a best of 7 Korean style. And there's the probe scout from Mancito going to go attack that SCV, building those barracks. Very typical, very typical. Go see a probe SCV battle over here on the left side of Mine's base. Ooh, and will this Marine take out this probe? Looks like the probe is going to escape with its little probe life. Meanwhile, over in the Protoss base, very typical openings. Mancito not opting to block off his entrance. If we do see, and I think we will, the typical opening where we got a Marine out and we're going to see a Marauder with concussive shell early push, this might not be good for Mancito. So let's see. Yes, Marauder and concussive shell coming out. Very nice play by Mind. Doing this quite nicely. The very nice Marine Marauder early timing concussive shell push. So let's see how Mancito deals with this. He does have a Zealot out on the field. Is chrono boosting that Stalker out, so with this kind of long rush distance, maybe Mancito will be quite ready for it. Another gateway on the way. We do see Warp Gate being researched, not being chrono boosted though. We do have some chrono boost. Going to go ahead and chrono boost some probes out there. And so we do have a Stalker out as well as a Sentry on the way. Going to push into the base of our Terran player. Let's see how this does. That Marine at the tower not going to be pulled back. Going to go down. And it does. Mancito opting to pull back there. Very interesting. So let's see what EVO Mine does with this 2 Marauder, 1 Marine army. Will he push out and do some early pressure now that Mancito has pulled back into his base? So let's see. Got 2 Marines now out on the field as well. So it looks like he's not opting to go for the very early concussive timing push against Mancito. Meanwhile, Mancito doing a very good job. Ooh, looks like he's going for the 2-gate robo play. Warp Gate is out now, so we are going to see these transformed into Warp Gates. And there is the scan. Going to see that Warp Gates are out as well, but he may or may not see that Robotics Bay out. Going to go ahead and opt for the Observer first. Meanwhile, Mancito has got quite enough minerals to expand. Let's see what he does with them. And we do see that Robotics Bay on the way, as well as Stim coming out, and a Starport for Mind. Very nice. So we see this factory out, but it doesn't look like it'll be producing anything for this matchup. But he is going to keep it in his base, I hope, because if Mancito does for some reason transition into charge lots, Starport going to produce a medevac. Meanwhile, Stim, a little over, getting close to halfway done there. Going to continuously pump out Marines and SCVs. Some more Zealots on the way, and that Robotics Bay almost done, so we are going to see quite an early Colossus. And this Observer is now in the base. Looks like a little bit of a misclick, killing a Marauder there. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of a drop from EVO Mine. Let's see where this goes. And yes, that is true. Mancito did see that drop get loaded up with that Observer. So let's see how he's gearing up in his base to prepare for that. Looks like he is pulling some people over, some of his units over here to prepare. And I believe that that medevac is going to scout and see if there is an expo up. So let's see. Let's see what EVO Mine does with this drop. So here comes the drop. Gonna pull some probes. Very nicely handled by Mancito. Ooh, that is not gonna be good. That is a nice little choke. Just gonna do some probe damage if he can. And all he has now to defend are some Zealots. And so yes, this drop is gonna pull back. Where will it move to? And yes, this Observer over here just kind of checking things out. Probably wondering why he hasn't seen an expansion from our Terran player yet, but there it is, going to float over and go down. Meanwhile, Toss gearing up to take this expo as well. And sometimes if you're a good enough player, you can see the little blur from the Observer, even though it's kind of hard to see. A lot easier to see Dark Templars, a lot easier to see that when it moves. So we do see some bunkers are going to go up right here as well to help defend. Meanwhile, drop going on in the base of Mancito. How is he going to handle it? Nice micro by Mine, pulling back, taking out those Zealots. And going to go ahead and pull out. Doesn't want to sacrifice too many. And so he does have an Observer following this drop ship around, so he knows where it will be at all times. Gonna fill up those bunkers. Meanwhile, we got two dropships moving out over here. And will it be spotted? It might have been spotted. Let's see how Mancito handles this. Meanwhile, I will take a sip of water. And the drop is going to be dropped off right here. Let's see how Mancito responds. Does he see it yet? Yes, he's pulling his army back. It's quite a sizable drop from Mind. Those Colossus are out, so Mind is going to see that. Very nice play by Mind, pulling just before those Colossus get there. Nice Observer placement by Mancito. Meanwhile, going to push out with a sizable little Stalker Colossus ball. Not too terribly big, but just big enough to do some damage. And so yes, with this Stalker up here leading the way, let's see how they handle the nice bunkered up fortress. Meanwhile, it looks like we're seeing some drop play going on with a nice Colossus in the base. Gonna save it. Meanwhile, another drop gonna go down up here. So Kudoku saying GG, but meanwhile we might see somewhat of a base trade. Mind playing quite well here with the drop play. Gonna heal these guys up. Meanwhile, Mancito not caring too terribly much. Does have the Vikings out on the field as well. Extended Thermal Lance just about to come out, but will it come out in time? Doesn't look like it. Looks like Mancito is going to pull back. That probe coming a little bit late. Going to get taken down by those Marauders. And this drop wreaking havoc in Mancito's base. Looks like Mancito doesn't have too terribly much to defend with it. I think this might be GG for Mancito. His economy is absolutely destroyed. His Expo Nexus is not rallied, so those probes just sitting around doing nothing. And so yeah, this might be GG. We're seeing a lot of drops here. Mancito doing his best to fend it off. Did pretty well. Not going to be GG just yet, but we are going to see probably a frontal assault from Mind any minute now. Stillboard probes just kind of chilling. Looks like we're going to see a little bit more drop play from Mind. Wonder when Mind's going to gear up. Looks like he's going to drop the Expo. Very nice call by Mind. A little bit of an army there, but these drops can seem to handle it. Uh-oh, there are quite a bit of Colossus there that Mind probably didn't anticipate. Looks like he is going to gear up to take this gold as well. We do see a command center being produced right here, as well as that combat shield on the way. So, Mind forcing Mancito to do a little bit of turtling. Let's see how Mancito handles this. Drones, probes off of gas. Meanwhile, more drops by Mind. Very good play by Mind. Mind doing very good. Good thing that medevac didn't have anything in it. I'm sure Mind is saying phew about that one. Mancito, meanwhile, going to try to defend as best as he can. We see a nice little bio ball from Mind over here. When he uses it to push, I don't know. Yes, indeed, he does need to drop, but does he know that he needs to drop right there? Meanwhile, Mancito going to maybe try to push out with this, or just bring them up, because this Observer army does spot this bio ball. Meanwhile, yes, we are going to see a push. Where will we see the armies meet? Oh, going to gear up for some drops. What is Mind thinking? What is he going to do? So yes, looks like we're going to have some drop play as well as a frontal assault. But that Observer is following those Vikings, so it does know. Meanwhile, going to unload the previous drop here maybe. Mind does need to drop those guys out, otherwise if that medevac goes down it could be bad. Bad. So these medevacs loaded up for a drop are about to do their thing while the main armies meet over here. So let's see how this goes. So meanwhile, these Hellions are about to drop off over here while this big old battle is going on. Let's see if I can observe both at once. So yes, those Colossus do go down. Meanwhile, it's just Stalkers. We're beginning. There's the GG from Mancito and the GG from Mind. Very well played by both players.